Tá féin íbert áil mhór a gceiste sin goman Laochra Gael. Cadrih, an corp, agus an aontain, agus tusatóir an spruchas mó, an baun ile éireann.
Young Diarmuid Lyng, the young county minor here to take this.
Diarmuid Lyng is going to have a go. Oh, nothing is beyond him.
Tá Diarmuid Lyng ghine dust a hemána is fearr a dimre Lochgarman riamh.
One there by Diarmuid Lyng.
Fiú ag dói ag tí déag le bhreas ag an am mar ein cum gur amánaí me.
Lyng twists and turns, great point.
Gizzy was, expected to field ball, win puckouts, get in the tackles, make sure he scored the frees, make sure he was getting maybe a goal, a couple of points from play, be the motivator, be the captain, and there was a lot of responsibility on his shoulders.
Ach bíonn tóiríocht a gceann sprice sin, agus an scíle sirí go deipach baun ile éir na bhuachtaint, a chur íochlar Diarmuid tethe óna héal mar imreoir idir chunta agus mar a réime.
But he was running out of steam. He needed to break.
When one retires, it can be extremely lonely. And especially if you're actually competing at a very high level. The distance from the top to the bottom then is you're in free fall. It's only now that he would understand what he went through.
Bhíos is cailte mar gine.
He came down without a parachute, He hit the ground and thud.
Dumber. Dummy.
Wil man gaan was vast?
Ja.
Dus jullie bier hoort in de kerk?
Ja.
Als kan ik gaan met de kerk?
Féchann siar mar le óg maithair an rud is lárnaí. Thug sé an méid sin takeíochtú an. Bhreis sé go raibh na cnílacha ag gceart chun rud éig an a bhain amach. Agus bhí sé sin na gánaí sa chaint sa bhaile, nuair a thosaigh gimmart le Carmen, ní a bhéon dul as, nó ní a bhéon nach darlóch sé agus sis bhrachas an rud céine an sin.
Okay, come on. I hope it. Listen, I can't tridach. Wil een overgoed? Nee, wat Jenny, man. Oh, niet fermiori fosmid.
We played at the same GA club in Clonard in Wexford Town. So we would kind of grown up together and became good friends. His father, Mick Lyng, would have been a coach, and my father, John Quigley, was coaching as well in the club.
Very far, knocked down by...
But everybody knew about him and knew about his talent.
Lampard pulled on here. Gizzy Lyng has it this time. Gizzy been pursued by Brian Martin. Puck out towards the field. Gizzy Lyng once again. Gizzy.
There never would have been too far from divilments or himself and Owen, especially as they got a little bit older. But when we were younger, he was always in trouble for something. Basically, we fell out one day and I fired hurl at him that went through the front windscreen or one of the cars, and there was lots of little. There was always a hurl involved anyway. That was kind of the main root of all the stories. There was always an argument brewing somewhere with Gizzy.
I remember calling into the Lyng household, and you'd go in and there'd be two chairs put out a little bit apart from each other, and that was the goal. Eventually we'd break something and get kicked out of the house, and we'd go and play out on Mansfield Drive. And I think playing for Wexford was always part of Gizzy's destiny.
Tréise óige a chafah gimmirt le Clúine Ard, bhag Diarmuid amach go club síintear amán an Leibh Martin. An cumann as a dánig George O'Connor, duine do Laochra Lochgarman, nuair a bhúidir craobh na hÉireann a 96.
That's George O'Connor back there, foraging.
I think I saw him for the first time. I saw him on the street in Wexford with his three brothers.
Young Diarmuid Lyng, the young county minor here to take this. Good prospect for the Martins.
He was a nice, confident chap. He'd ask questions, and he liked his identity and he liked his culture, And he wanted to hurl. He was very sure that he wanted to play hurling.
Gizzy Lyng was moving the
He was certainly the new breed of hurler, you know, which we have today. Only he came a little bit before his time.
Limerick in the hunt for glory here. George O'Connor.
96 was huge. Like, it was a really big thing for us. Like, I was 10, he was 15, so you were really impressionable. I think that was kind of when Gizzy decided that this is what he wanted to do and this is what he was going to be.
There with Mike Nash.
In Laochra, just duscail rud éigin onin ar fad, like Cormaig ar fad a bhí ann, just duscail rud éigin.
Knocked in there. Larry Murphy's in there challenging Tom Dempsey as well. And it's a goal for Wexford.
The final whistle blew, the crowd went wild. And the
Larry George and a cuid faoi, and slí chun seasamh mar imreoir.
Delighted for George O'Connor as well in his 35th championship match.
I bhí sa íorí a bheith mar sin
So
comá,
many defeats in Leinster finals.
choláidir agus comacánt agus
Up on Wexford.
cofiach for ar an barc.
Now I suppose within Wexford, every young lad will want to play.
Tacht de bhaile, bhí mar sa trácht agus is bh dul go maul agus bhí gach na brás ásta mar bhí just an áit ar fad carc agus áir.
I think we were coming into Gorey and following the bus along with thousands of other people and thought it'd be a good idea to get up onto the roof of the car, and the lad was in great form as well, so he said, yeah, hop up on the roof, you'll be fine.
Fios a gin go raibh six bailach gear ar dheis agus just dúirt just rock him an trá seo, but ar darúd go raibh cír an thuas ar dí an hart agus just cnach mar na chosa in Acalin.
And we made it to Camolan, the next town. Now, we were moving pretty slowly, it's not as dangerous as it sounds, but yeah. I think Gizzy was probably the ringleader of the whole thing, knowing that I'd be the one to go up onto the roof.
Yeah, bhíos a go mini ag an blian sin go ginearáltas dó go nó cínta an ihe sin comás, like, yeah, tá sé seo huim, like.
Dagan glundar a bhain le craibh na héireann, lí níos mó ná riamh go Diarmuid leis an amánaíocht. Ach bhí meall chomá a buint leis de tréimh sí a chaise in íar chiaí leanna his mahordaí Mickig's Marie agus a fiúr drahar. Go dain bhí sé fé gheasa a ghesail na háite.
Seo cumínóil in íorthar Ciarí. Háin mar an seo go minic agus muidóg agus nuair a cethir bhúcailí fion na got. Stocha gur áit é gur féidir leat suaimhnas áirithe bhain amach. Tuis go bhfuil an áit seo dehirid níos fianna ná sa rá mar.
He's always been drawn to Kerry. We used to go down there every summer, or maybe 3 times a year even. Some of the best memories down there.
He was born down there, and we would have holidayed down Dingle every summer. 4 lads pack into the back of the car, park up, head down to Cumminall and puck the ball around on the beach. Yeah, they were our best memories when we were children because you were away from home and, you know, it was always good crack. There was always something going on. There was always some bit of trouble we'd get into. So there was always that affinity with Kerry.
Ní mar a géirí a bheith a ról all timples na tauntal and ar ahar. Agus stocha just am a rainin le chéile. Seisra ghain. Dear ní raibh mór an brú ann ag an am sin ar ein cuma, you know, faoi dóiag, faoi cehardíag, faoi sédaíag. Dair sé darír a beidir an íag sin, but nuair a bhí mar óg, just bhí an rud ar fad taithnamach agus seo áit gur bhuine mar taithnamach sa cluiche.
Hí sa Loch Garman, bhí clú ábhain de macha go Diarmuid agus ag grathracha ar faict na himmartha. Ach ní a bhéin únta sé seo, de heilig a raibh míonach spórt le fadán. Áireacht a chroigh brú persanta de Diarmuid.
Bhí mar gimmert in ag Kilkennig cléthe cenis, éach sé bheith níos mó. Agus is cuoin am an ihe rih an cléthe cenis cúmar suas go dtí Ballyhan. Áit as a tháinig a uncle Maher Dick agus bhí anna cháil agus bhí anna cháil orthú na Ballyhan Lyngs mar imróí Leroyd Love sa tír.
5 serving.
So Dick Lyng here again to serve. He's the holder of 7 All-Ireland titles in the senior grade.
Cúmar suas go dtí Shanna Court, Leroyd Love agus an áit in a rug sé ó héil sport de. A thóg Maher a thóg sé mé go dtí an áit sin agus is cuoin am fós a siúl timpeall na dúthaigh sin agus brachant an áit.
When he was young, he was a very curious person, very deep process about everything. And, that probably caught him over the years, especially maybe starting off in minor.
An lá níag sin hús a Park an Crocaigh nuair a Frab an Leroy idir me héin agus is tócha Jackie Tyrrell. Haring mé le gach rud a bhí anam agus bhís ábharín déanaach agus foras carta buí. Cas me timp agus bhí Lyng Griffin buinte leis an foirna an am agus an méir a dóil agus I was like, chuig na méid, like, oh God, an náire. Ort duine nó go raibh mí cearta methar an méid sin brú a chur orm an a lethe díanamh an ihe roimh cluiche ceannis, Haim céad bhain géad cínta agus sunna gur cúmar ann agus go bhfuil an tuiscin sin a gom áit as agam a chlán agus beidir go raibh sé ommarcach a bheith thuas ann an ihe roimh ré.
Chríochnaigh an cluiche chó scór, ach ní raibh deire lena chud treblóidíon son. Chuig Diarmuid agus Dornán cóimiróirí amach I mbaile Loch Garman tréis an chluiche. Ach nuair a fuair an bhainisteocht amach fé seo, fuair Diarmuid ó Hallavé ó Liam Griffin.
Chuir sé asshole or you're an asshole. Bhí sé rá nach raibh tú macánta, nach raibh tú macánta letain agus nach raibh tú macánta linne. Is bhí an ceartaige. In lá níag bhí a go bar síomhtágála Ballyfearsaigh agus tháinig methar isteach go dtí an seomra agus bhí sé tar éis an focail áil gur os curtha an banéal.
I remember my mother more than anything being thick about it and angry about it. And I remember going to the match in Kilkenny and he wasn't allowed to go with the team, and we were standing, I think it was in Dr. Cullen Park in Carlow, and standing with him beside it and seeing his teammates out there. I think it kind of hit home to him at that point that these sort of things, they will make a difference, like that they'll add up.
Just fís a forbert, cosúla gacéin imreoir eile. Bhís gom go raibh sé, go raibh chun bog a raig an áit sin agus stocha go bhóras an deis sin faoi fé héan agus bhís níos compórdaí beidir ar lá mór níag sin.
The year of the under-21, I think he scored the winning goal against Offaly in Nolan Park. I think he caught 5 or 6 balls in it. And you'd be nervous, like sick in your stomach going to the match for him, and then to see him perform like that, you'd just be full of pride for him.
Tréiste cúlan bhua a scoráil na gíomháilí I gluthe leithceannis Lion fé féhéin I rábhíle sa héin, thug Diarmuid agus Loch Garman ag ar an 9 cíl chuinnig sa chluthe ceannis.
Bhí mar gimmart an 9 cíl ceannig agus is chuoinm an bhí le caig raibh 10,000 ann an ihe sin iad a cédaín a bhí ann agus bhí anas foic agus a céad le. Bud bhí is fósar an bart an darna le agus I tháinig Leroy isteach. Agus chas méist fós cúlín agus an céad ó riamh frás an chrith sa talamh. Agus bhúmar le beidir cúlín ó gá ag an deire agus ba rudol mhór dúin ag an am ach go háirtha híos Páirc Loch Garman in 9 cíl ceannig. Níoiteach sé bheith níos fearr dúin is tócha. Bhuineamar arís beidir an numar go na bhas an ceann sin híos Baile Loch Garman is cuoin an bhí tribláid áirithe rud nó gá tréistal tuit an más agus beidir go bháci an ceann sin.
Yeah, I was nearly happy I missed out on that session. I think there was a bit of trouble afterwards, all right.
We don't win stuff that often in Wexford, and people tend to lose their minds a little bit after we do.
Well, bhí mar pleicíocht ach cúmar amach bhí mar catta an óstán. Duine nó gá thuas ar cár ach a cár na hain, so bhras go sé sin go brab. Tháinig an nuacht ar Saudis Radio bhí thuas ar sa fób agus bhí dúirt sé gur spéad of instance across Wexford Town and The under-21s are presumably involved in sure Jesus ceap mar greibh sin níos gan óra fós agus ní a bhéin ní bheann nach in irid le sin an rud bhí ar an anna cadarga de bailúla céal agus díoch mar an cá agus bhí sé sin críicna an sin
Agus an ceiliúr ará ba críochnathe, díad a Lochgarman an áidir limnach a gluthe ceannis na héireann.
Barry McGee, stack, look up for the close to get Lyng.
Ach ní raibh gló ar an lámór.
After that, he kind of changed his tune a small bit where he went from enjoying the game and loving the game to really starting to take the game seriously and how he can be one of the best players in the country.
Femníon ráhíle sa cethir bhí Diarmuid ar a banéal síontir. A feire ón mínse ar Lochgarman a buachtain go dramatúla chiil chuine. Agus an son ar í bhálaí a gluthe ceannis Lyng.
Fantastic goal by Paul Conley. One there by Diarmuid Lyng. Consistently excellent for Wexford today, Diarmuid Lyng.
An bhliain an dhéag sin, rábhíle sa cúig, bhí ról 4-8 aige, nuair a rith Lochgarman gluthe ceannis Lyng.
No, we had no fear of Kilkenny then. We'd beaten them the year before in the semi-final and we felt, we're as good as them. We'll go toe-to-toe with them.
But once again, it's that man Lyng that's playing a blinder.
Martin Comfort would have been a real ball winner for the Kilkenny forward line then. Before the game, he was talking about how he's going to put Martin Comfort off from catching the ball.
Bhí sa chun cumán just díreach ar a just díreach nar bhúil sé churing an cumán os córan an clogad.
Down to Martin Comfort, one superb Lyng by Diarmuid Lyng, better known as Gizzy Lyng.
But you'll see the hurl go up first and a little tap off the hurl in front, so because just before the ball arrived he'd get the little flick just enough that it wouldn't be a free. Like if you were caught playing the hurl, they'd always blow it. He would have always been fond enough of the dark arts.
The first thing you need out of your half-back line is the ability to win the ball in the air, whether that's blocking it with your hurl or catching it. Gizzy was a great man to catch the ball and he caught a few balls that day. Martin Comfort is 6 foot, probably 5 or 6. It's very rare you'll see anyone catching balls over Martin Comfort, but Gizzy was well able.
Great catch by Diarmuid Lyng again there.
Bhí sa buinteanna bheas a leithe dhéanamh, like I géiríh 5 bartha ar ré tú ribh ré agus fiacan ar an gluthe mar sin.
And once again, it's the industrious Tommy Walsh working so hard, makes an angle for himself.
And there and the ribh gáinú trí cholín atrin. But ríis fiamar timpeall an áit ceart ag an am.
The Leinster champions of 2004 responded by showing grit and character and really put it up to this wonderful side from Kilkenny.
I think it kind of was a good launch pad for him. He felt that it was his arrival that he showed he could do it basically.
That Wexford team, we were definitely starting to get the upper hand on him at that stage, but Gizzy, never let down. He was always to the front of the battle.
Ceap fá céisio mar satá sé agus leannig sé raig mar seo. Ní mar sin a leanse.
Bhí an chumar scéal greibh Diarmuid Lyng ar bhain na muice. Bhí sé cheantas na himireoirí beachtaí bhí ge Lochgarman. Bhí a frófíls na meáin na fás. Agus bhí post bunaige mar bhunbhún teoir an Gaelscoil Charman I mbeidh Lochgarman.
Is tábhachtaí nuair a fécinn tú ar
Bhína bhaine sáirteant na bheas bheith seo mar rang le daoine ága agus go thátha freastal ar an tanga comá.
nó 8 míle. 7 man chalín, okay?
Bhíidir níos fearr na mé, like bhí san nán deire an céad bliain, like bhí san nán an lehanach oscail sa fóclór go dtí an lehanach cearpeag na gacám, like bhí is có. Bhí a fiachan there nuair chuirtar ceist orm ar focail agus bhí sa fiachan there agus sin a focail. Céanach raibh vis a gom, but like ní rás ná an rála gaciil áistíos fécha mé an fóclór mar chail fá manín.
Ein tríú má an bócail agus an dara ceann.
Ach bhí an namáint go thomláán lárnach héal bhí sa mún na cinnta agus buinteanna bheas é sinach fáinge dul a bhaile go lua, 3 o'clock mach an doras a bhaile úr cholle béle má dul trein áil gach lá sa seachtain. Eat, sleep, repeat. Ach bhí an feabhs ag tacht agus sinna bhí bhain.
We just ate and dreamt about hurling back then. That's all we did. We'd be down in Lyng's house, or up in my house most nights, talking about training or talking about how we can improve.
Diarmuid Lyng, keeping it low.
He'd come up to my house before big games, and I said, well, Diarmuid, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I said, I'm absolutely flying. I'm jumping on my skin. He'd say, I said, oh God.
Rising again, Diarmuid Lyng, one of the stars of the game.
He had created such expectation. He would pick it up from everyone that he was expected to really lead the charge.
Standing under it, Diarmuid Lyng.
And that create great anxiousness and, you know, stress on his own body.
Gizzy Lyng.
Is tógadh go raibh an cluiche gairí níos daríre agus níos cotíint agus níos mó agus bhí anna chud caint air agus bhí caighdeán áirithe ann a bhí taitneamhach agus bhí is brathant ar cínte mar chuoine.
Mar begnách le lech garman ag an am, an dúsán bevóhíá ná buchtan le chiil chuine. Ach bhí firn amú nuige Brian Cody gur beag trúhíce dá Gael Coric.
On the nines, John Fitzpatrick and Diarmuid Lyng, Michael Fennelly and Owen Quigley, the two nines. Everybody told to get back, they're already jostling.
It's a huge regret when you're competitive with a team in 2004, you're competitive with a team in 2005, even into 2006 we were somewhat competitive with them, but they had the edge on us.
Coming through here.
In 2007 came and they annihilated us in the second half at Leinster final.
Kilkenny crashed that ball into the back of the net here, but the job is more than half done at this stage.
Cailemer, Arish, Inaig, Kilkenny, Kilkenny na line.
15 points up, you know, you're going to have a...
We were definitely starting to get the upper hand on him at that stage. Like, they were coming up against a Kilkenny team that was really coming to the peak of their powers in the in 100 years nearly.
Shefflin taking on Declan Ruth, why not? Beautifully across, another goal! Somehow I feel I've seen all this before.
That beating took its toll on us, I think, mentally, all right, and we started to doubt ourselves.
No need for the added minute because Kilkenny are once again the Leinster champions. A 15-point rout. Wexford completely beat...
Cúmaraig, bhí mar gimmert an ag Tiberdorn, sa glé Cathrú Kennis, but gortíoch má hamstring. Bhí ana síreach there tús Seomra Ire sin an creid RP Chamber le Carmen.
I was with him. He had a hamstring injury, and obviously the idea of the cryotherapy chamber was to flush all the blood down through the body and you know, rehabilitate that bit quicker. The mistake we made that day is that we went from freezing cold temperatures to going straight down into the pool and into the jacuzzi and the sauna to try and warm up. And that obviously had devastating results on Gizzy going forward.
Yeah, just stop gachrod ag obair. Bhís cabht was éanam díobh mé, all mé, ní raibh nam coile ar corbe, just thuaslaí ar fad. Just bhís ráite istigh.
I don't doubt that people said maybe that it was psychosomatic, that he was thinking it more than it was actually happening, but hard to see him being doubted for it and hear rumours of what might be and what happened to him, and he was soft or that he was out too much or whatever the rumours were. You could kind of see up close with him that he didn't really, I don't know, he didn't want to address it as much because he wanted to just get on with it. So you knew it wasn't something that he had thought up of because he wasn't trying to make the point for it, but you could just see in him that his body was reeling from it.
Níl bhéon tuiscint beidir again ar cad a bhí dar agus bhí tréistal chuig na doctóraí agus na phríomhaigh áil agus ní raibh siad agus an sin na phríomhaigh céine tugarí siad fan is trí lasrís on siad scrism a bhla grís cuasa eile lean mé agus stracailt in aigen rud.
Puck out by Damien Fitzhenry, well gathered by Diarmuid Lyng, sending it in low. Here's Diarmuid Lyng, fine catch, nice play. Good hands.
I gáhíle socht, bhómar an craobh le cum Martin Neef agus bhí anna bliana a goin cé go raibh le Carmen a fólingt.
You know, it was a fantastic year, and we ended up obviously winning the county final against Laochra. Except for himself, played middle of the field, where he was outstanding.
Bhí anna bliana againn barod speisialta sin a bhócant. Honey Kieran ar an bark.
To be playing with your brother in the county final and to win on the field together against Owler, two are a great team, to be great rivals of ours. Yeah, I'll never forget winning the county championship with him.
Níl mar tar éis éonar dhéanamh ó nécha né agus tramnána sásta nuh. Is parish ítach láidir é bailí an féir agus bailí bharán. Tá ran a bródú las an namáí agus an pelúir de freisin. Níl mu trééis anna chud a bhócan ach beidir sa táhaí beag níos mó buide a ghain.
Gael is a né, bhís mar captain agus lean mé ar aig. Bin an botúna in mé stocha. A ríis frahas nach raibh Laochra in anna dhéanamh gan mé nó frahas nach raibh mé in anna dhéanamh gan Laochra nó Pérod.
Being a close friend, I knew he was probably going through a little bit of trouble, and on the pitch and mentally he wasn't feeling healthy.
It's with Diarmuid Lyng, and Lyng, the captain, slots that over. Opportunity for Diarmuid Lyng, cut two of these in the Division 2 final in Thurles, and he's got one this evening.
At the same time, he'd put in some brilliant performances.
Gives it back to Lyng. Lyng twists and turns, he's scored. Great point.
Now, he'd worked hard to get his weight up and to be bigger, and I think he got a lot thinner, a lot quicker in the off-season, which hadn't happened to him before, and having seen him up close, that he was definitely struggling.
In ein nuin bhróteachta, chaurig Diarmuid Lochgarman áte bhaintach le ceannis a strathe a gáhíle sa dé in aigen chláir. Ach ní mór na gur Port Gizzy seinte hena féin.
Beidir gur bhrá daoine nach raibh sa fulling nó gur raibh rodéigen mí ceart san inte na gom nó rodéigen mar sin.
He was probably wondering at the time, why am I feeling right? Is it all in my head? It would have been far easier if someone had to come out and say, this is what's wrong with you. You'll be, look after yourself for 12 months, look after yourself for 6 months, 18 months. But it's the unknown really is the hard thing.
But he was running out of steam, and he was maybe living on fumes at that stage.
Agus fómar ar chunta an chlár sa sreach le ceannis na sreatha. Ach dhéanas cinéanaí ag sin go raibh condal, go raibh chun amach ag dearna bliana, go raibh an stracail rá mhór. Ní raibh an taith na bhain agus ní raibh singrá leis an cléthe. Is tar éis an rud sin a cailúnt.
That's a great catch by Diarmuid Lyng. That is one of the scores of the match so far.
He weighed up his options, and he needed to travel because he married hurling when he was 6 or 7 years of age, and he stayed married to hurling until he left the country.
This was a superb catch with
I was delighted for him when he went. But many people weren't, so where the hell is he going? You know, what's he doing? I was thrilled to bits when he was going. You know, sorry to see him go, but listen, this man has a life.
I gáhíle sa héníog, dag Diarmuid fern Lochgarman. Cha sé fuair bhór 8 bhí diaga taistil, agus a Lyng an ama seo dhéann sé fí seán chun áda haringtir imróí sport ar fud an dahain a gortaíoch.
I'm Diarmuid Lyng, and this is Hurling Around the World. Embrace the competition, but enjoy the creativity. Let's go.
Sa tréimh seo cha sé thar lear, músclaíoch spéisiúnt sa bhudachas, sa bhachnamh agus sa yoga. Ach thar éon rodéile, bhí 10 úirteige dá chorp agus dá aontain cneasú.
Bhí faoi se bhain, is 10 ní raibh aine tarrington, ní raibh aine géirí, ní raibh arm ról a ghlacha. Bhólas le ceann na manig agus thug mé faoin air le na rásí mé caint. Bhí sé géisteach lam, bhí sé fíor a géisteach lam. Agus tar sé lucad is féidir in éirí agus sé gach mad. Déanam muid cleachta yoga nó na rudaí a háid testáil de corp, tá leisigh testáil de corp. Agus dhéanam mar é, agus bhí an tennis a scríle. Na rudaí fisiciúil ar fad a chuig ar aig, leis an seomra air nó an cryotherapy chamber nó na rudí sin ar fad is tócha gur an aspa de faoisih mentin a chuirteach ar gachard mar ní rás nán ar na freigraí ná dúrthad an saoil éiscin dós má córbhí is just gafa le beidir an duine gur ceap mé go raibh mé na rud éige mar sin nílas go.
Word was filtering through that Gizzy had come back changed man. My opinion at the time would have been that he came back with an outlook that he was going to find happiness.
It's not honest about you. I mean, the lads are all Stephen Banville, Iarlim Roar, Laochra, Darren Shagamahe, Kershig Liachor, go on, and he's like, we should kindly den egg in the rain the shachtana. He's like, hey, here Gizzy Lyng's a Buddhist. This is femur the Gareth we.
I got married down in Kinsale in December 2011. Of course I wanted Gizzy there to be, a groomsman. He's, been one of my best friends growing up. And so I contacted him and he said, look, I'll be there. As typical Gizzy is, he arrived quite scattered. And he also arrived with a couple of friends. One was a young fella who was trying to become a monk. But the next morning after the wedding, his good friend the monk was out praying in the middle of the forest, and a few of the Irish lads came across this and thought Gizzy had gone balmy altogether.
When he came back, I found him he was great. I found he was great. No, he was dressed maybe like our Lord or whatever. But he came back and he said, I'm me, she's him. Accept him for who he is. I accept him for who he is, and God help, I pray for the people who can accept the great Diarmuid Lyng for who he is. If you have a problem with that, you have a problem with yourself.
Come join us on the team at worldsportsteam.org.
He had changed a lot, and he'd gone travelling as Gizzy and people knew him well, and he fitted into certain circles, and he came back and he probably was outside those circles then, and people couldn't understand where he was going in life or what he wanted to do.
Diarmuid Lyng, no stranger to this level. He's returned from 18 months touring the world.
We see her in my immert and sin ag this doyeg nor a dil me immert. We see her agus vi tatnav na rodi vi a gum nor a hosi me amak.
So now Diarmuid Lyng. Oh, he's made good contact with that. He's made fantastic contact with it, Diarmuid Lyng. They missed it last year.
An gra nor a vis ar cuminol ag immert le macawn and sunnas and tatnav. Agus bhreatha sé sin agus cabhraigh sin go mór le ma immert. Cégur I was fós is stracailt, ní I was láidir fós.
Neatly in here. Oh, what a response there by Diarmuid Lyng. Diarmuid Lyng has just got his first ever championship goal and he's tied up the match. Missed all of last year when he was away, but he's come back, and he's come back with a bang.
He went to win for Wexford every single time he went out. That expectation over a period of time will actually erode your very being.
I always felt he was looking for something else. I felt after travelling especially, it really broadened his mind what he could do or what he should do. And I felt that the hurling was only going to go on for so long.
He swung one over the bar already from a sideline, but this is much further back. Diarmuid Lyng is going to have a go. Oh, nothing is beyond him. He caught that superbly. They went just soaring through the air.
You may not could him rory fós lá tan a bhún céim an céim sin. I mean to a brahant ar tain mar imrór don say shock céimise is imrór me. Agus íon si sin is dócha docardom nar a crígníos an sin, níos déine nar nach rawas ima imrór níis. Ní a viscum cé bhíann in íag.
I suppose after the hurl was finished, he would have been living in Dublin for a while. I remember ringing him up one day and I just said, how are you keeping? And he said, I'm just in darkness here in the room. And I said, what's wrong? And he goes, I can't get out of the bed. I've been in darkness for nearly 2 days and I'm not eating. I visited him up in Dublin in that house, and I could see there was something wrong.
Nuair a dil sé gábhíle sa dóíag, bhí an doras an Loch Garman lethe, agus thosan sé gimmert tar bar. Ach bheith gábhíle sa trídíag, bhí an doras san íotar. Gan hen gnó nista, agus a heile sé gúnta hart. Bhí Diarmuid a strágáil leis an bholús a bhí inis na héil.
Furas gléach ó Gael on Newstalk. Thug sé chur dom tacht kind of buinte leis an fern, an maul an fern and off the ball agus has greibh sé sin ionach agus greibh sé ba dhéis maithe.
I think he really struggled in Dublin. I was concerned for him then. We probably had lost touch a little bit. I tried to speak to him as often as I could, and I probably maybe should have been there a bit more for him. But I remember ringing him up one day and I just said, "How are you keeping?" And he said, "I'm just in darkness here in the room up in Dublin." I said, "What's wrong?" He goes, I can't get out of bed." He said, "My body just won't let me." I visited him up that house, and there was photos of us on the wall from our days of travelling in America, photos of things really important to him, Wexford jersey, and I was glad to see him get out of Dublin. I think he needed a break from that life.
Just bhí orms an céim a hógant, éilú an chathair, go dtí rithim níos ná dóirthaí. Dhéanais cinenne tacht agus bhí sa géirí síl omhéin agus sí leis an stracail, so is tócha gur dhéanais cinenne sí isteach sa dorcha de sin chomá, ba cinenne I hlí. Now ní raibh visa gom cé go dorchas go raibh rodí chun a bheith.
He needed to get down to Kerry, I think. He needed the countryside. He needed to rebuild his life and see where he wanted to go. You know, I was afraid sometimes maybe to pick up the phone and ask for help. And yeah, that was tough as a good friend. You think, could you have been there more for him?
Leon, níor bhreathas go raibh sé ann é sin éiscint. Agus is dar rud é nuair a cían aine na ha duine ann fiacantart. Stracail d'éiscin nó dáileach d'éiscin nó an dorcha is éiscin nó péród. Más féidir le duine bheith oscailte agus cróga gáin go fiacantart an slíon háús. Ní bhíos fíormhaíochta. Íon íag sin bholalas le hiabháin trasna agus ó hin le tá cócht is na méadú an tá mar fad.
Ó bhog sé go círaí, tá saoil nuair fad á bhleise go Diarmuid. Thóir feimine inite, a fás is sa láthar a chud bíag féin. Saoil atá scuiteach go thomláin ó na héal mar imireoir idirchúnta é.
Is féidir linn dul trasna na cardiga capéit. OK.
He's a lot more relaxed and happy now than he ever was. He's kind of found his calling through the Irish and, you know, living off the land, and I think it's admirable. It's something everyone would love to do. Well, I'd love to do it anyway.
I'd say gacla horadegin fion again. You smear do it and break faster. Do you know? She's beats a scenario stocha, like sea beat. So beats a scenario hug me there. Agus yeah, han she like vishe five law, le deni akanish so tagan she go over lights of lead.
Is she not like spinach, Jacobon go vishe long the
yeah, agus han she like glass dorka in current so keen to an ear in the house stigan like fear good for you.
Fear good for you.
Fear good for you, boy.
He's living the life at this point in time that he seems to love, and I would just throw me hats off to him and say, listen, that is a brave move, because most people, you like to be accepted by your peers. They're doing something, you nearly copy them. That's the way most of us do live. But for someone to have the bravery and to have the, you know, the courage to like, this guy wasn't living in Kerry. This guy was living up in Wexford. You know, a primary school teacher lived the ordinary life. To move everything, move down to Kerry and down and live that sort of life, I would just say, listen, more power to him, and my way of thinking would probably be aligned with Gizzy. The only thing is I wouldn't go down to Kerry because I'd have to go to North Kerry first of all, because that's where all the hurling is.
He's a beautiful family down there now and on the Skull, and you know, he seems to be really happy in life. You know, he seems to know now where he's comfortable, and he's not looking to make pressure on anyone else or make anybody else happy. He just wants his family to be happy, and he knows what he wants from his life.
Yeah, my mother would definitely have a touch of a hippie in her anyway, so she definitely identifies with it. I think my father loves going down there. He's down there more than anybody, down seeing Ishna and down seeing Siobhan and Gizzy and spending time with them and just like generally relaxing and enjoying their company.
I'm gahanis sa gardín in our era, like tá sé flór an ish mar has sé an ór agus haim sásta féach an timppel like na dahanna scacarad agus tá sé cóslán túl dó go bhfuil sé an seo. But haim a déanamh bhana chuid botú níl mór an taithí agam, níl éon ólas agam ag an buinte seo is just rudí a chur sa talamh agus cíhamid cad a tharlóí. But an ish tosnói mé tuis go bhfuil me gairí sais soccer agus ábhrín taithí ag tacht an ish tos mé gobar caidán an éair, so ballói me famine agus capel agus ballói me na rudí an caco na cearca agus tá sé sin ar fad slán túl don na éair agus cabhríonn sé sin go mór an plandí. So is stocha go gcéann tú an sin ag tacht isteach go dtí an pláta trátí níos dearg na saléad níos slán túla, you know. Braham se go gaithimid na rudí seo a dhéanamh. Seo bailach ar ais chun just do rudí héna ás. Fiú má aontas chuig van géad an bia. Is slór son, you know, is slór son. Cad é Farín? Cé fá bhfuil tú lite síos an sin? Look at Cainrod, has spawned them.
Look at it's just brilliant to see him back healthy, in good form. His mind is healthy. He's physically healthier. And, you know, that's all I want from him as a friend.
Is it environment trotty, Pet? Yeah?
It's great for me. I go down there for a few days and it's the most relaxing few days you could have. You know, you've no stress. All you're worried about is what you're going to eat and where you might go. You might go down to the beach for a while, or I think it's a great way of life.
Now.
Ní a bhíon aithne go méir ní líon chur amach go méir sport na inar martin, you know. So, bhualas leis stig sa tigtáirne in íag trí caí. Ní raibh scanner ort, so bhí sé sin fógra má. Agus níor chuoinnig mé ríist go dtí go raibh ag siúil síos an bóthir I dro a hach agus bhí cairil am agus dúirtí, ó, dit mis búir isteach í marsan. So ag grúi sí mé isteach agus dúirs, you know, hello leis an you're walking Diarmuid by, chani sé hos. So sé bróg dom. Like, you know, gan éon teoran.
Nú cuire.
Nú cuire, like, nú fiú aithne gom, like, Cosúla go mar sena cháirde, glú cháirde. Agus, dhéang siúr glach mé leis. Sin death, actually. Playing is right.
Hit the samachlish in glithe, like Kailas and Grad a clithe. Kailas and Grad and sail, like. But it's like Smahi and Gra. Ní raibh a chaithne goin ar a chéile, te go raibh sé bhí cata goin in a chéile. Bhí mar thuas in isnach I lár na tíre, agus gus cuiinlam Siobhan a lí faoin cloc. Chuit atá ann agus is fertility stone ann as bhí smíl. Sias a chalín. Tar amach an á sin. Agus Gael an íomh fóramar an da hocail. Agus bhí just cós ásta.
You call down there and you're welcomed in by Siobhan and she'll put on anything you want to eat and, you know, Ishna's out playing. So it's a nice lifestyle down there to have.
I've had numerous different forms of seaweed put in front of me and I've yet to eat any that I thought were nice.
Fiachar an rudí seo ar fad just tugta goin fásta goin ballathe goin agus cúpla rudí ceannathe goin comá ach.
Té beo le cían tú sa da.
Le cúpla bliana nuas is caintúir agus áiseóir Diarmuid a agrion ceardlanna chun feasachta spraga hen cheistna sóisialta.
And I feel it's at that level, it's that when we strip back our sense of ourselves, when we're willing to let go of ourselves in who we are in our society, that we can connect more deeply with the earth, we can connect more deeply with the world around us and with the people around us. And that is where the ability to change lies.
Agus tá sé dírig ard leis a haringt galar a dietach an crown fun seoige a scris.
It's a serious fungal disease that can kill ash trees of any age. Ash dieback has spread widely across Europe, and this time last year, the first case was discovered in a plantation in vitro.
Come on, Pikey. Former an áit seo ar cías agus sibhána gúmpar le isne. Agus an céad rud a cnoch, tá gata an gná gata an sochaí an seo an ceannáil an gurm, ach seo an fíor gata dúine. Gá crín olmhór agus sé an foin seo go tá ann an rud a tháina commandí an tas. Agus tá isa gom go bhfuil an crown a follingt, go bhfuil an foin seo go follingt leis an ash dieback disease agus go bhfuil sé treis tacht tras an hórpra agus gur lit sé na crín ar fad ann agus go bhfuil sé tagcha go dtí an tír seo hanis. Agus bí me smaoineh ar imróí cumúach le Gael, like há sé díalta mar Laochra mór agus fear mór láidir, manaibh mór láidir agus más Laochra muid in áíre agus an foin seo go follingt agus airm ag tastáil chun cabhair a thórtaí beidir chun é a chur nó chun é a cosint i lí éigean. I'm buinte le Woodlands of Ireland agus I'm treis bheith caint le mycologist agus daoine mar sin. An planim intin in íag bheith caint lena daoine de frola ná is féidir le daoine óga an cumann le Gael sna scailne agus na cumann é ás. Agus is iad san an síl, si an grá antú don cluiche sin síl céine, agus is féidir lá fás leis an síl sin.
Cé go bhfuil saoil ciúin is go hééis a géirí, tá Diarmuid fós sáte san na mánaíocht, agus é brínte go rialta mar an lísí ar TG Cahir. Ach ba bhailis dríocht na hamánaíochta agus na Gaeilge a lárdóibh siúd go bhfuil an nasc áireachta san cailtecha. I rábíle sa seachtaíag, bhainnig Diarmuid agus Siobhan díseart Gaelach a géirí chun an nasc sun a abhanú.
Tá me dír gan aice le clóthir áit le fochan bra rud a bhí a tastáil bhain chun an eile se hágad an seo. Tá tine trasna cístin fián Gaelach an sin comá. Se meascáin na gaoine a hagan le freint a copín simachó beidir san amáint nó sa yoga nó sa machnamh. Is tóca an rud is cotíanta ná an fatíos atá iontu ar fad leis an Gaeilge.
Tóca go bhfuil go léir glóraigh slí chun bhríse trú an constaic a thá ionin mar déanare an constaic idir muid hénig agus ar teanga dúchais.
The GA was founded, I suppose, to drive the culture, to drive the Irish language. So if there's people out there that aren't in love with the competitive nature of it, well, I'm all for it if they want to go down to a retreat down with Gizzy and if that's helping them grow a bond with the game of hurling. It shows that there's a place for everyone.
When one retires, you're not judged by the amount of medals you have in your case at home. Judged by the skills that you had or what you gave to the game.
Ní hagan críoch le George O'Connor go job. Like haim taobh muid den dahan sin like níl tuiscint gom conas atá sé sin chun an bound sin an bhócant. Bhrahas go raibh sé gcónaí chun teart gom mar sin an fáisteach ar lean an dóchas raig, but ní mar sin a bhí sé. But ní liscom, gus ní bheith iscom. Agus I'm lí díach faoi sin. Is tóca nach il má obair críicne leis an cumann le Gael agus leis an cumánach go háirithe.
Obviously, I would have loved to see such a great hurler end his career on a high with a Leinster final win or an All-Ireland Celtic Cross medal in the back pocket, but he had other interests in his life. But it doesn't make him any less of a hurler, because he was top class.
Sometimes it's difficult to have the words to describe what you feel for someone. Diarmuid Lyng is a great friend of mine. I really admired him, the man, and he always did what he wanted to do. To actually look into himself, the courage to do that, and try and find himself again and be happy where he is today, you know, that takes some courage. And for men, in the world we live in, they're supposed to be bulletproof.
Listen, he didn't win an All-Ireland, but the medals, and we will keep saying it and saying it, you don't have to have the medals to be a brilliant player. Just because his team wasn't winning All-Irelands doesn't mean that we thought any less of him or think any less of him now.
We'd all just be proud of him what he's doing. Like, he's on the radio or he's on the television the whole time talking about these things and talking about things that are important to him. And while we all hold beliefs and opinions that are important to us, there's very few of us like out there spreading that message and encouraging people to be involved in these things. So I think, yeah, he'd have to be proud of him for that.